Well, hello there, guten Tag and all that. Welcome to episode number 161 of the TEW 2020 Challenge Run. We're back after a week or so off because I've got to do my SummerSlam planning, got to make a start on the editing, but we're here, and this is going to be August week 1 episode of Raw. And it is a fucking stacked show if you do remember. If you do cast your minds back eons ago to the last episode, tonight on tap we have Buddy Murphy versus Bobby Lashley. We have Kevin Owens versus Finn Balor. We have the Raw return of John Cena. We have the Raw return of Becky Lynch. And a whole lot more. London beckons. We're out of Europe. But we're back there at the end of the month. For 2 nights of SummerSlam goodness. And let's see the card take shape. Without any further ado, let's jump straight into the show. Too long, the lies and excuses have conquered. It's just a time bomb waiting to go off. So tell me why has it gone to this? We live just like we're dead. Afraid of something, afraid of someone. It's time to rise from the ashes. Rise into a new day. And out of all those people, Edge is the one who starts the show. Not someone you'd probably expect. Probably expect Drew, Keith, Becky, any of them. But no, Edge is the one. You think you know me on this day. I see clearly and all that. And he's not in a good mood because he did lose. Him and Christian lost the Raw Tag Team Championships last night to the Undisputed Era via Adam Cole related shenanigans. As most Undisputed Era things do tend to happen. And he's like, well, damn. I got. It's nice as the ultimate opportunist to sit here and admit that somebody may be the new ultimate opportunist because I haven't got to live my life like that anymore. I'd love to sit here and call Adam Cole and the Undisputed Era sons of bitches, but I can't realistically do that because that's what I'd have done. I'm no better than them. But they have walked into a death trap, or specifically Adam Cole has walked into a death trap because there's not going to be Christian and Edge versus the Undisputed Era Part 2, no. Christian, we'll see him, he's got plans for SummerSlam, and he's got plans for the next month. He's going off on his own. Which unfortunately for Adam Cole means so am I. So let's not beat around the bush about anything here. How about it, Adam? You cost me my championships. How about me and you one-on-one at Wembley Stadium? SummerSlam. I can't wait to hear what your response. Tosses the mic down. Short and simple, really. Yeah. Edge has challenged Adam Cole to a one-on-one match at SummerSlam and left. We then get to advert break. We come back and Drew is in Eve's office. And he's like, well, what do you think of that then? Big announcement. Wembley. I did wish for that. I hope I put that wish to good use. And she's like, you really did, Drew. It's fine. It's really cool that we're finally going to go back to Wembley after 29 years? Yeah, 29 years. And you're like, I am still looking for a contender, and you could get that match, but you can't just wish yourself into that match, of course. We know, we've been over this. But I do think you deserve an opportunity for what you've done over Raw for the last couple of months. I can't remember the last time you lost. You are on a bit of a hot streak. So I do think you do deserve to earn a chance. So here's what we're going to do. We have announced we've got Buddy Murphy and Bobby Lashley coming up next. Main event is Kevin Owens versus Finn Balor. And how about tonight you can go one-on-one with Apollo Crews. And then the 3 winners of those 3 matches, they will be turned impromptu into number 1 contenders matches. And the 3 winners will face off in a triple threat next week in the main event. And the winner of that triple threat match goes on to SummerSlam to face Keith Lee. And Drew's like, God damn it, I like the way you think, Eve. And I'm sure you're going to boogie woogie on the biggest party of the summer because that's what I am. I'm going to kick Keith's head off, no disrespect, and take that world title. 78 for Lashley and Buddy Murphy. That's a very, very weak. I expected a lot better than that. But apparently they've got no psychology, shit announcing, and Bobby Lashley's got a stale gimmick. But Lashley wins in 13:07 with a spear. Buddy Murphy, of course, still a bit beaten up. He's got like tape ribs because he still beaten up from Lashley, and of course he did go through the King of the Ring match on Saturday night. But Lashley takes advantage of an injured Buddy Murphy. He gets an 89 for Buddy, and Lashley advances to next week's Triple Threat. We then get to a commercial break, and we come back, and all of the Hurt Business, so MVP, Lashley, Dio, and Shelton are gone, but Cedric's still out here. And he says, "Aye, it's his prime Alexander time right now, baby. And this is my chance to shine because I want to go to SummerSlam and I want to impress. So I'm issuing an open challenge to anyone in the back. Who's it going to be? Who's going to come out here and face prime Alexander?" And then No More Words hits, and Jeff Hardy makes his way back to the ring. We haven't seen Jeff Hardy around in months, but trust me, this is the start. We're going to be seeing a lot more of Jeff Hardy going forward. This is the start of something for him, and he's back. No More Words. And he's going to beat somebody that he actually should be beating with the debut of his theme song, and that's Cedric Alexander. 736 for Swanton Bomb, 66 for Jeff Hardy, and an 84 for Cedric. Fucking hell, Cedric, mate. Chill. But yeah, Jeff Hardy, back, old theme song, win. Shane McMahon, because remember, he's now part of the Raw fucking Authority team, and the Raw management team is now Shane, Eve, and Tyler Breeze. And then John Cena walks in. He's like, "Hey, Shane-o, what are you doing here? Looking for your next, you know?" He's like, "What, John? What are you on about?" It's like, "Come on, Shane. You know what I'm up to. What are you doing here in the SNHU arena, wherever that is? Out here looking for love, is it?" He's like, "No, John. Like, I'm married with children. I had this one-time thing in Canada one time, but hey, that stays between us. Anyway, no, I'm here for the Raw. I'm part of the Raw management team now. Again." And he's like, "It's a shame, but I was probably going to say hi. Apparently I had to be here. Apparently I was announced to show up to this show. I had no intention of driving to this dump, but apparently I'm here, and I've graced you all with my presence, so I guess I'm just going to take my leave now." And Shane's like, "No, John, you don't get to just come here and leave. Be part of the show. I'm not saying you've got to wrestle, but just walk around, just introduce yourself to everybody, just get comfortable here. It's nice to have you here. You've taken time out of your very busy schedule that I'm sure you would tell me to be here, so you may as well make yourself at home." He's like, "Hey, I don't mind if I do that, Shane. Cheers, you're a good kid." He's like, "John, I'm older than you." He's like, "Hey, Shane-o, no hard feelings, pal." And he leaves, and he's like, what the fuck has gone into that guy? Because, of course, Shane never witnessed John Cena at his absolute worst because he wasn't on screen. This is the first time Shane has encountered this version of John Cena. 73 is really good. This is probably the best JFO segment ever. And it's sort of the first that isn't your paint-by-numbers blueprint segment. Because they're all back, because they all returned last night Evolution to attack Asuka and the Dominion girls. But they don't seem right. Like, they start performing, the instruments are going off, they all sort of start singing, apart from Mackie, and they're all not really into it. Because obviously there's still something on their mind. And then Mackie sort of just looks around, she sees people aren't singing. She stamps her feet, she huffs and puffs, and she takes the microphone and she walks to the ring. And she's like, Asuka, you shithead. Oh, she swore. Like, you trying to kill J-Flo? Well, we kill you. Come out here, bring girls out here, and we'll have a match. So, J-Flo, finally, bit of someone's actually pissed them off a little bit. And that's Dominion. So we're going to get a 2-on-2, 2 members of J-Flo against 2 members of Dominion. 68, that match gets. This is why the Joshis are so fucking good. Because Natsumi and Kiona specifically don't really have that much pop. The J-Flo girls have actually been around for a year, so they're actually sort of recognisable now. So I expect that from them, but that's really good from Kiona and Natsumi. But it's Tam and Mina, the J-Flo 2, who get the win. Tam pins Natsumi with a spin kick. I understand this is probably very confusing for a lot of people who... There's just a bombardment of random Joshis on your screen. But again, blame the comments, not me. My hands are clean. 64 for Mina, 62 for Tam, 47 for Natsumi, and 57 for Kiona. 82 promo. Adam Cole's like, well, look at this. The greatest tag team in NXT history. We're here, and now we're the greatest tag team on the main roster, baby. Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, Roderick Strong, Undisputed Era, tag team champions here on Raw, and that is undisputed. But yeah, a little birdie told me that we've got to look for new challengers for Bobby and Kyle. Because Edge, he stepped out of line. He doesn't want a rematch. He wants to face Adam Cole Bebe at SummerSlam. Biggest match of Adam Cole Bebe's life, and it's going to be in Wembley Stadium. He's going to be able to put Edge down and break his little neck again with that Panama Sunrise. Don't know why he's decided to do that, but he's done it. I've got nothing to lose. So I'll see Edge at SummerSlam. That's going to be me accepting this challenge, Edge. You don't know what you're in store for. Because you're a ticking time bomb and your body could give up on you at any point. But me, I'm fresh, I'm lean, and I'm ready to go, baby. And that is undisputed. So Adam Cole accepts the challenge. Edge and Adam Cole at SummerSlam. I definitely click next segment then. 62, Bray Wyatt, he squashed Killian Dane, I think it was 2 weeks ago, and writ him off. He does the same Dexter Lumis here, and now, yeah, 90 for Bray, 51 for Dexter, and the same post-match attack. Susie comes out, and then the lights go on and off, and the Fiend and Su Yung are in the ring, and they lay Dexter out. Except this won't be Dexter's write-off, because obviously I want to keep him around. But it now appears to be 2-on-2. Dexter out of the equation. Killian Dane out of the company. Aleister Black and Alexa Bliss now have their backs against the wall because Bray Wyatt and Susie... There's no numbers game here anymore. Mano, woman v woman, and whatever mysterious powers stand in their way. The end game is coming, it may seem, for these four people. Backstage, this is actually a pretty decent, important segment. Eve has a bunch of the tag teams bitching in her face. Ricochet and Bronson Reed, who have sort of become a team over the last couple of weeks. The Vega Mafia, Path of the Dragon, Stock Exchange, all shouting. They're like, well, if Edge and Christian have a chance, well, we should be the number one contenders. No, we should be the number one contenders, blah, 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 and all that. And she's like, look, we've got a very solid tag division here on Raw. And I want to showcase that a bit more. Because I've got faith in you guys. You're all really great, and we need to find out that one great tag team here on Raw. So next week, all of you, Tag Team Turmoil. And the winners of that match will face the Undisputed Era at SummerSlam. And then Path of the Dragon and the Stock Exchange leave. And then Ricochet sort of bumps into the Vega Mafia. And Andrade and Zelina are there as well, but I can't fit them on screen. And Bronson Reed's like, but you think you're real tough, don't you? And Zelina's like, excuse me? Like, sending your men to attack someone who doesn't even wrestle here, doesn't even work here, Bad Bunny. He was entertaining the universe and performing like King of the Ring, and you try to just attack him and you try to make a name for yourself at his expense. That ain't cool. You're not tough. It's like, well, be up with that. I don't know what you're accusing us of here, Bronson. I may control my men, but I was at Evolution because I'm a woman. And then Andrade sort of steps in. He's like, if you don't think I'm tough, face me in that ring, and then I'll prove that I'm tough. And Bronson Reed's like, okay. So divulge from this, Tag Team Turmoil next week, Bronson Reed and Andrade tonight. 71? Huh. How about that? Paige defeats Mandy Rose in 8:14 with a Rampage. Paige is back, she gets a nice win. She's facing Charlotte at SummerSlam. 78 for Paige, a 45 for Mandy. And Paige is celebrating when on the Titantron we hear, hello, Paige, woo. What a big win for you here, Paige. Look at you. You're back. You're on your farewell tour when you go to your home country at SummerSlam and think you're going to get the big, nice, feel-good victory over the Queen. Woo. But you appear to have lost sight of what is important to you, Paige, because you are out there all alone soaking up the crowd because you are selfish, woo. And I can prove that. And the camera pans down and AJ Lee's been laid out at Charlotte's feet. And she's like, well, what on earth happened here, boo? I guess it appears This isn't your house after all, is it, woo? It is mine. Woo. And Paige, of course, is angry in the ring because her tag team partner, Frenemy, has been laid out by Charlotte backstage. It's just a way to send a message because she's a dickhead. And AJ's been laid out by Charlotte Flair. 78, that's fine for what it is, but yeah, because of the ending, that's why. Bronson wins by DQ when the entire Vega Mafia runs in and attacks him, so it's a 3-on-1 assault after 8:49. 89 for Bronson Reed and 83 for Ant. What the fuck? Okay, Bronson Reed, chill, I see you. But yeah, DQ. Bronson's got Andrade beat and then they attack him, 3-on-1 assault. And that's not enough because Zelina orders the ringside mat to be pulled up. And then the concrete is exposed and Andrade, to prove just how tough he is, delivers the hammerlock DDT onto Bronson Reed on the concrete. Ricochet charges out to help his new friend, but the damage appears to already be done. Andrade sort of cockily struts back up the ramp. The Mafia sort of wave at Ricochet on the stage, go, "Ah, tell your buddy he can meet Bad Bunny in the hospital, aw." So Bronson Reed has been laid out by Andrade, hammerlock DDT on the concrete floor. Not good for him. Backstage, we're in the medical office. Buddy Murphy's on the doctor's table getting evaluated. He's like, "Look, buddy, you're gonna have to take a couple of weeks off. Like, you got attacked by Lashley. You aggravated that against Kevin Owens, and then you aggravated it against Lashley tonight." And he's like, "No, I can compete. Then we hear, and he's like, "Come in." And even with a shit-eating grin, watch John Cena. He's like, "Hey, buddy." It's like, "Hi." It's like, "Hey, I just wanted to introduce myself to you. I'm John Cena. You may have heard of me. 16-time world champion. #1 Make-A-Wish granter on planet Earth. Nice to make your acquaintance, buddy." He's like, "Well, John, we've met before. It's fine. And you know me already." It's like, "Do I? I'm sorry. I've seen a lot of people. I can't put a name to your face." And he's like, "You just walked in here and called me buddy." It's like, "Yeah, that's how I greet all my acquaintances. Why? Have you got a problem with that?" And Murphy's like, "Sigh. Just, hi, John. Yes, just leave me alone. I'm getting tended to." And he's like, "Huh? What's with you? Got a bit of an attitude on you, haven't you, buddy?" And he leaves. Just a nice little chat backstage between John Cena and Buddy Murphy, and the appropriately named Raw Hey, Buddy, :D storyline started with this segment. Oh, I shouldn't find this segment as funny as I do, but I do. 79. No storyline, probably heard that a lot, and apparently lack of psychology. Drew pins Apollo with a Claymore in 13:15 to cement his place in next week's Triple Threat. Him, Lashley, and then the winner of Balor and Owens in the main event. And then the winner of that will face Keith Lee at SummerSlam. 90 for Drew, 85 for Apollo. It's nice to see that because Apollo was like, he really got his big segments away in Europe, so I didn't know how he was scoring on US soil. But 85 is really good, and he's here. He's a cemented at least upper mid, if not low tier main eventer at this point. The Miz. He's bragging in the ring. He's like, you all had faith that Kofi Kingston was going to be the Intercontinental Champion after King of the Ring, but wrong, not correct. Because The Miz, he's still the Intercontinental Champion, and he's still the most must-see Intercontinental Champion in history. Because he's the record-holding 10-time Intercontinental Champion. It's going to take him more than Kofi Kingston on a little angry trip to take the title off me. So there's nobody in the back who's got a title shot waiting, so I guess I'm just going to take my time, book my holiday roughly on the time of SummerSlam, because The Miz is going to have a break. And then Christian comes out. He says, "You know, Miz, it's funny you mention that, because somebody on this show does have an Intercontinental Championship opportunity. Me. And Miz is like, excuse me? Why would you have a Intercontinental Championship opportunity? And Christian's like, well, you know, before I was rudely sidelined for 7 years, I won a chance to wrestle for the Intercontinental Championship against Big E when he was the champion back in 2014. And I never got that match, and when I re-signed here to WWE, I was promised I would get that Intercontinental Championship match. And Miz is like, well, we don't work in promises here, you've got to earn it, kid. A lot of people calling their elders kids on the show. It's like, okay, then I'll take on one of your boys. It's like, you're not going to take on any of my boys. And then Jomo steps up like, hey, Johnny Drip Drip will do it. The Flood Stud versus Christian up next. 79, Christian beats John Morrison with a kill switch. 68 for Christian, 75 for Jomo. And then the match is over, but Miz needs to make it his prerogative that Christian won't make it to SummerSlam. So Elias and his guitar and Robert Stone and the Miz all jump on him. 4-on-1 assault, and then Kofi and Damian Priest. Well, Damian Priest comes out first, actually, because it's sort of his mess to clean up, because it is accidentally his fault that Miz still has the belt. When he accidentally hit Kofi. Oh no, that was the other way around, actually. Kofi accidentally hit Priest. But never mind. Yeah. That was at King of the Ring, he came running out. So Christian, we now know why Christian has been taking a shine to the Miz recently. And it's because he had an Intercontinental Championship match up his sleeve. But Kofi and Damian Priest, they ain't taking this line down either. And an interesting scene is developing here in the IC title picture. Drew, he's walking backstage after his victories in high spirits. He's taking his wrist tape off and stuff like that. And Sheamus was like, alright fella, nice win tonight. Hope you win next week and go to SummerSlam, innit? And Drew's like, yeah, I'll see you there. And Sheamus was like, huh? It's like, well, I said I'll see you there when we both leave SummerSlam as a champion. Sheamus was like, what you want about? I haven't got the chance to be the champion. And then Drew's like, oh no, not the World Heavyweight Champion, no. You see, I spoke to Eve, and as you saw earlier, Ron Bronson Reed, he got taken out, bless his soul. So there's now an empty spot in Tag Team Turmoil. So you're going to win that and become the Raw Tag Team Champions. What? Me and you in Tag Team Turmoil, Drew? No, not me. You and Otis are going to be in Tag Team Turmoil. And Sheamus is like, what? No, fella, I don't want a team with Otis. And Drew's like, tough love, Shamey, because you're in. And he walks off and Sheamus just shakes his head. He's been forced into team with Otis in next week's Tag Team Turmoil. Backstage, before the main event, I believe, Kofi's caught up with Charlie. He's like, Kofi. We saw Breeze and you at King of the Ring. Was that a lead in the figuring out who attacked Xavier Woods? And Kofi's like, Charlie, there's still a lot of things up in the air about that whole case with Woods. He'll be back soon is all I know. Breeze, he had a prime suspect. That's why he's not here. He's currently interrogating him. And enough about Woods. What happened to Woods? He'll be back soon. What really matters is me capturing the Continental Championship. We'll let Breeze do his thing, but I need to do my thing in that ring. And Christian, you may have a title opportunity. I'm not going to begrudge you that title opportunity, but I still want one. Bleh. 78 for this. If you don't have 85, 90 psychology on this game, your psychology is shit, apparently, according to the game. Nice to know. Kevin Owens and Finn Balor can't go 16 minutes without it becoming a mess. Owens wins. He cheats to win. Cheat. It says underhanded tactics. It isn't a mess up because FRIs are incompetent. So if they do run out and distract Balor, but Finn fights them off, and then that distracts Finn for Owens to cheat to win, and he gets the pinfall win. 84 for Owens, 90 for Balor. And next week it will be Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre, and Kevin Owens, and the winner of that will face Keith Lee at SummerSlam. But of course the show is not over. We've got one more segment left to get through. Io and Rhea not on the show this week because we need to let Becky just talk, really. She had a couple of words at the end of Evolution, but she needs to have that one first promo back, and I kept Io and Rhea off the show for that reason, because I think even having them on the show would sort of like take shine away from the promo. I want the first actual mentioning of the whole thing to be here, and I don't want Becky to get attacked or anything. So it's just Becky coming out and explaining. She says, well, for my whole life I thought that my first years in wrestling, in sports entertainment, and then in WWE were the hardest years of my life. And they sure were difficult times. I nearly quit as a thing. I was struggling. I was barely getting featured until I decided to step up and take things into my own accord. But then once I did that, I had the world at my feet. I was the man. That wasn't just a nickname I gave myself. That's what I was. That was a mantra. My personality. And it took me to the top. I won the freaking main event of WrestleMania, pinning Ronda Rousey, and I held that title for a year. But then once you have the title for a year and you're on top of your game, your mind starts to wander, and then magic happened. And that became my top priority in life. That became the hardest year of my life, was going through that and giving the birth and looking after someone else's life. But looking at my old baby and sitting at home, something felt unfinished. Because yes, I was the mom now, and that was my most important thing in the world to me. But my number 2 was still out there. And I had to walk around with pretenders. Shayna, she won the vacant title. I beat her at freaking WrestleMania last year. She won a tournament to win the vacant championship. Couldn't beat me, had to win it after I was gone. Liv, bless her heart, bless her little cotton sock, she did her best. But she didn't beat the real champion. She won it in a 6-way. Didn't even pin Shayna for the belt. Didn't even pin the fake champion. And then Io Shirai, she wanders around like she owns the place and she thinks she's beaten everybody, but that's just not true. Because I am everybody in this division. There'd be no Evolution 3, no Rhea Ripley Io Shirai main event without the man, without Becky Lynch. There'd be no WrestleMania main events without me. Ronda and Charlotte can shove it. And having gone through what I went through the last year, and now I'm back, I see things a little differently. Because this isn't Io's division, this is still my division. These are pretenders. These women waited until I was gone to come to Raw. Rhea, NXT Women's Champion before I left. Io, NXT. They had to wait for me to leave before they came in here and started getting too big for their boots. And I've learnt more about myself now as well, so if you couldn't beat me before, ladies, you're not going to have a snowball's chance in hell of beating somebody who knows she's got nothing to lose. I could have walked away. I could have sat at home breastfeeding, watching the show, cheering on Io and Rhea, who are both very talented girls and both could one day be the face of this division. But that one day isn't today. Because the real face is back. And at SummerSlam, she comes to collect what is hers. Because I've been looking after someone else's life, but Io, you've not been looking after my other baby. And that changes come SummerSlam. Because I'm bringing it home. Mic drop. She leaves. 85. The Becky promo saved that show, really. No Raw talk because A, I forgot, and B, Raw talk is shit in real life now, so there's no point. That really does piss me off though. Like, they did not need to change that. Anyway, what matters more than the 85 is what you thought of the show. So let me know what you thought in the comments below, and I'll see you next time for SmackDown, which will be the first SmackDown on the road to SummerSlam. I'll see you guys then.